Hi guys, the reason I'm doing this video is a little hints, tips and how-tos with the Walkera Rodeo 150. Now, there's been a lot of discussion in the forums about all sorts of things, so I think I'll start off with antennas. The reason why I'm going to start off with antennas is because one of the guys in the forums had a really bad crash. He had, I think it was a Triumph antenna he had on the back, and basically he had bent the whole back end of the Walkera and the VTX inside, and he had to replace, well, the whole cage and the whole plastic top covering and the VTX. Now, the standard antenna that you get with it is not very good. I mean, it's usable, but it's not very good. I, at the beginning, did recommend the Aomway antenna, which is a good antenna, but the problem with that is, when you put it on your Walkera, it makes it it just makes it so much taller, you know, and I didn't like the height of the Walkera. It was just too high. If you're flying in tight spaces, you know, the height of this thing, it's too high in my opinion. So I thought I'd get myself a little mini cloverleaf antenna and put that on. Not only does it help protect your VTX and crashes, it also takes a good hit as well. And let me get those areas out of the way. Takes a good hit, and well, it stops you busting up the back end of the Walkera and the VTX both. Now I'm going to do a little comparisons here for you in a minute, because I have actually put some sugar on it. The reason why I've done it is, here's another one without sugar on it. Now look at that, see it wobbling? Now in a crash, that would basically just snap off. Now I've had a good fair amount of crashes, and hard ones at that, and that little bit of sugar right there has helped. The only thing it has done is bent the antennas, but I can just put them back the way I want them to be. So out of all of the antennas, I'd try and go for something small like this. You know, it'll keep the height of the Walkera down. You'll be able to fly through tighter spaces, and you know, compared to something so long, you know, or like the Triumph, it's just too much. And believe it or not, the picture quality that I'm getting from this little antenna is amazing, as you can see from some of my other videos. You know, it's quite bent at the moment because I crashed into a pole really badly at full force, but we can talk about that later. Right, we'll move along. Next little tip I have for you is the actual antennas themselves. These plastic housings will pop off on a hard crash and you'll lose them. Right? They're cheap to replace, but that's not the point. You don't want to be losing them in the first place. So yeah, again, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of hot glue will do the trick. Just put them on both sides, and I've not had a problem. Here's the one I'm running it. I'm running the black one at the moment. It did come off at first. I managed, a neighbour was good enough to find it for me, and ever since I put sugar on there, they've never come off. They've not snapped, so they've stayed on ever since then. So I would recommend you do that as well. Just a little bit of sugar or hot glue. Right, on to the next one. Where are we at now? Batteries. Right. Now, the stock batteries. Talked about them before. 850 mAh batteries with the EC2 adapters. Problem with these, too expensive. Problem with the plugs, they are awkward to manage. They are awkward to solder, and I don't like them at all. So instead of that, I got myself the Zippy, as you know, and I changed the plugs over to the XT30s, which is a lot better. But what I had found after a while was, depending where I bought the battery from, I got a couple from eBay, and some of them were bigger than others. And this was the big one. This was the big beefy one. I don't know, it must have been an older batch, an older batch of Zippy batteries, and it was that fat it wouldn't fit in. They'd put plastic all the way around, and I basically just took all of the yellow sticky off and the foam off, and I was looking at like a millimeter plastic housing that the other battery was in. So I stripped it all down, and that one fit perfectly, but this was an older batch one anyway. But with the newer ones, right, they're fine, they fit good, but I was finding a problem because when I was putting them in the actual quads and putting the balancing leads in, I was only getting the balancing plug just about to there, and that wasn't enough, you know. So what I thought to myself, I would just take the top off, take the top cover off, take the foam off gently, and because the foam was taking up an extra, I don't know, it was taking up an extra 5mm, say, and that made a huge difference. So now when I'm plugging my battery in, I can actually put just about all of my balance lead in there, like so, and plug my battery in, and it's a lot easier. And just to get it out, you just pop it back out again, well, just like that. So if you get the Zippies, just be careful and take the foam off the top and just cover it up. I just use black electrical tape for that, you know. But the XT30s, I would recommend them, and the Zippies, because the stock batteries are just way too expensive. Right, what is the next? Let me have a look. Thanks to Debian Dave, I think it is. He showed us a nice little parallel balancing board that you can use to charge your batteries in, which is this one. You can get it from all sorts of places. You can get it from Banggood.com, you can get it from, probably get it from Hobby King, you can get them from eBay. I haven't actually used the boards yet because I just got round to soldering little lead connectors up tonight for it, so I'll just plug them in there, plug my batteries in here, and I'm good to parallel charge 6 batteries at one time. I'll put a link in the description where you can get that board. That makes life a lot easier. I mean, you don't need to use the XT30, but I would highly recommend them over the EC2. They're just so easy to solder, you know, and you're saving yourself a lot of money in batteries as well. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, The next one is, I heard a couple of people saying they were wondering what VTXs they were getting. Now, let's get this focused in. As you can see here, it says TX5832. Now that is a 200 milliwatt VTX. That is. I've heard people say they haven't had a sticker on the back of the Walkera, and I'm thinking that they haven't had a sticker on the back is the simple reason is because they've taken them off, and they're only 25 milliwatts. So the 25 milliwatt one, the number for that is TX5831. That will be your 25 milliwatt one. So just look at the back and see if you get a sticker there, then you'll know what VTX you're running. If you don't have a sticker, then I'm not quite sure. You'd have to open it up and have a look. There'll be a code in there somewhere, you know, but I think they are deliberately ripping the stickers off them, so you don't know what you're getting. Now, if you do find out that you have the 25 milliwatt VTX, don't worry about it. You can upgrade it. That's no problem. There's a nice video on YouTube, thanks to Sebi Doki. I'll put the link in the description on how to take apart the top cover and replace the 25 milliwatt VTX with the 200 milliwatt one. So that will make things a lot better, and you'll be able to get a longer range and better quality picture with a higher VTX. Right, on to the next little tip. I think I flew this quad about, I don't know, 20-25 times, and I thought to myself, it is brushless and it does need oiled. All little brushless motors need oiled. Now, if you look, I don't know if I'll be able to get in here real close, but by what I had seen, as close as I could get, there are sealed bearings in there. And if you get a little needle nose applicator and put one drop of tri-flow oil in there, and loosen the 4 screws underneath, I'd go easy on them. The screws don't seem to be very good. When I was unscrewing them, they felt quite fragile actually. They felt like I was going to bust the threads on it, you know. But take the 4 screws out. You can't actually take the motor off as such because you're barely in a wiring. The most you'll lift this motor up is about 5 millimeters. You'll just get in there, no more, with your little applicator, and you'll be able to oil the bearing that's at the bottom instead of taking the whole thing apart, you know. So I would recommend you give your wee brushless motors an oil every 10, 15, 20 flights, you know, at night, to keep them all good and dandy. The next tip, we're going to talk about heat. Now, the heat of the VTX. Most of the guys on the forums, you lot are from the good old US of A, so it's bloody hot over there. I'm from the UK and Scotland, so it's not so hot here. I don't need to worry too much. So what I tend to do is just bend a little rubber cap back and put a bit of black tape here, and that's enough for me. That keeps it nice and cool. Whoops, just moved the camera a bit there. On the white one, I just use a bit of Scotch tape so you can't see it, and that keeps that nice and cool. But if you in some place like Arizona, as somebody knows. I know who you are. You're from Arizona. Uh, I'll call him Mr. Holy Man because he drilled an amazing amount of big, huge holes on the side of his quadcopter to keep it nice and cool. And but if you're not in a place like Arizona where it's so hot, you can put little mini holes just at the top, and that should be enough to keep it cool. You know, because the heat will rise and you want it coming out the top. The quad tilts and flies forward, so that'll bring all the cool air in to cool it down. You know. The next one is, and this is the big one. The big tip is this stock camera just sucks. I mean, it is horrible. It is yucky. It is blurry. It's just as blurry as my camera here. Anyway, right. So you've all seen my mod on how to do it, and a lot of people have actually got their camera out and tried to take the actual lens out, and some of them haven't managed to get theirs out. I have in fact managed to get mine out with great difficulty. There was so much goo or glue or whatever they used, you know. I did get it out, but I have not yet tested it with another lens. I don't think it'll make any difference. I really don't. I think somebody else had tried it and said it's still rubbish. So I think we will go back on here and stop being a bum. Get back on. 1 minute you don't want to come off, and the next minute you don't want to go back on. There you go, back on again. Right. That's the fun part. And that's where this good old 600 TVL camera from Banggood comes from. And this will be the upgrade that you'll want. I mean, like I said, it's the best mod you will get on the little... Why won't you focus tonight? There you go. You can see plenty of grass on my quad. That was from bashing it around the other night. That is the best mod you will get. It's been posted around the forums and on different other people's YouTube videos, but I'll post a link again in my description anyway. Right, we're coming down to durability in this thing. I think the durability of the Walkera is amazing. It truly is. I mean, if you've seen my crash vid, you know I hit a closed pole about full speed, smack in the face, and what do you know, this thing is a champ. And the only thing that is cracked is that little... You can't even see it, basically. The little lead white cover in here just got a tiny crack there. There you see it, and that's it. Some scrape blades, and the antenna bent a little bit, but that... Where are you, antenna? Here you are. I've yet to fully bend that back into the position it's supposed to be in. But apart from that, have I missed anything, I wonder? No, yes, I have actually. I have missed something. One thing actually. The stock charger. Don't use it. I mean, if you don't have anything else and you're a first time buyer, I mean, this video is not only for the guys that know about the quadcopters. This video is for you guys that are just coming into picking it up for the first time. Try and get yourself something like that. a B6 charger. It charges all your LiPo batteries up. Right, I hope these tips were of some help to some of you guys, especially some of the newer guys that are just picking the Walkera quad up. It's a great little quad. I love it. That's why I have 2 of them now. And it can take a good bashing. It's well worth the money. I'm not very good at doing these type of videos. I really need to get a good setup. But don't forget to like my video. I will be doing more of them. And please subscribe to my channel. And I promise the next time I'll have a better setup, because this is just horrible. The camera and everything, you know. But I hope all these little tips help. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.